What if the destiny of the Lakers' next championship run hinges not just on raw talent or star power, but on a single, calculated bet, a high-stakes trade that could either silence doubters or shatter the fragile unity we fought so hard to build? What if the very player you once counted on as a key cog in your front line becomes the currency to unlock a much-needed gamble, one that reverberates far beyond the hardwood? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truth meets purple and gold. Passion. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of this drama, because today, we're staring down a crossroads with the stakes so high, it feels like the weight of every heartbreak and every championship in Lakers history is pressing on this moment. The rumor mill is running red hot, fueled by LA sports hub Samuel Bulin, who throws out perhaps one of the most electrifying trade scenarios of the offseason. What if the Lakers flip their own starting forward, one who's been anything but invisible to the Golden State Warriors, in exchange for Jonathan Kuminga, the freshly benched NBA champ who's teetering on the edge of becoming a forgotten promise? Think about it. The Warriors, a team still wrestling to patch the cracks of their dynasty's twilight, quietly signaling they might be ready to part ways with a player who once held sky-high potential but now feels tethered by cap limits and patience worn thin. Mark Stein's Inside Scoop tells us Golden State's offer for Kuminga capped at 2 years, $40 million, a telltale sign of hesitation from a franchise reluctant to fully invest in his future. The fact that they won't go higher, that they're effectively saying we might be done here, opens a door for the Lakers to step in with a sign-and trade given their own cap constraints, pivoting on mid-level contracts like Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, or Rui Hachimura to balance the books. But here's the kicker: they'd likely have to sweeten the pot with a first-round pick. Yes, a pick that could forever be a reminder of this moment, this dance on the edge of reinvention or regret. For the Lakers, a team desperately seeking to shake off playoff frustrations and remold their identity round LeBron's twilight, and AD's urgent championship window, is gambling away future assets to steep a price? Or could it be the very risk that resets the narrative, adding a fresh spark to a group yearning for serendipity? Kuminga's story is loaded with dots left to connect: drafted high, explosive, raw, but more than that, stifled. Sources like Shams Charania and Anthony Slater paint the picture of a young man frustrated by what he believes is a franchise that stunted and strung his career along. Steve Kerr's decision to bench him down the stretch of the 2024-25 season was not just a tactical move, but almost a symbolic one, signaling that the Warriors want to get the best out of the team, with or without him. Now, enter the Lakers, the team that might be willing to offer Kuminga the redemption and fresh start he craves. At just 22 years old, this wing still possesses that explosive first step, the ability to soar above the rim and seize transition opportunities that could electrify Lakers fans desperate for consistent highlight plays. And sure, the price tag might not align perfectly with his contributions yet. He's still rough-edged, inconsistent, and unpredictable. But isn't that the very kind of high-reward gamble the purple and gold have thrived on? The blend of potential and pressure could be the catalyst that pushes Kuminga from a sideline afterthought into a rising star who finally nails that elusive breakout season. Meanwhile, the question looms large: does this mean moving on from Rui Hachimura after just 2.5 seasons, a move tainted with its own emotional weight, as Hachimura has been a quietly vital, if not spectacular, part of the Lakers' rotation? Sacrificing him and a precious draft pick feels like a desperate play, but desperation has defined many of the Lakers' most memorable chapters. Imagine the ripple effect this trade could have, not just locker room chemistry or on-court synergy, but the very psyche of the franchise. LeBron, who has carried this team through grueling playoff battles, might see this as a sign the front office is truly committed to pushing every piece into place for one last epic run. AD, hungry and raw, could either be invigorated by Kuminga's athleticism and youthful energy, or left questioning the stability of the team around him. Reeves, rising and hungry, could find in Kuminga either a complementary brother-in-arms or a complicating variable in the delicate balance of minutes and roles. Every transaction sends shockwaves, and a move like this threatens to either ignite a firestorm of excitement or leave a lingering sense of what if Kuminga fails to deliver. And let's not forget the ghost of Lakers past. How many times has a bold, impulsive trade rewritten our fate, for better or worse? From the West Coast glitz of Showtime to the blood, sweat, and tears of Kobe's era, History has proven that sometimes it's the player you bring in at a cost that defines the entire season. The stakes couldn't be higher as the clock ticks relentlessly on the remaining prime years of our stars, and the Pacific Division tightens like a noose around every contender's neck. In the shadows, the Warriors might be quietly signaling their readiness to move on from youthful promise toward a new blueprint without Kuminga. Are the Lakers ready to swoop in, seize that opportunity, and perhaps rewrite the blueprint for their own future? Or is this a perilous path that could unravel the fragile strands holding this roster together? As a lifelong Lakers fan, I can't help but feel the tension swallowing the air. This isn't just a trade rumor, it's a microcosm of all that's at stake for a franchise on the precipice of either monumental resurgence or painful mediocrity. So I ask you, is this the start of a new empire, forged by daring moves and fresh blood? Or is it the beginning of our unraveling, a sign that the shining era is slipping through our fingers once again? Drop your take in the comments, I'll be reading everyone. Listen up, Lakers Nation, because if you think this is just another game of musical chairs with contracts and draft picks, you're sleepwalking through what could be the most defining, gut-wrenching chapter in Lakers history since that fateful shot dropped in the Garden back in '98. This is a ticking bomb beneath the very foundation of our purple and gold pride, and nobody wants to admit how high the stakes are, but I'm calling it like I see it. Imagine LeBron, the king, sitting in that locker room, the man who's been the standard bearer, the iron-willed leader who carried franchise legacies on his back longer than most of us have breathed, now looking at a fresh-faced Kuminga, a wild card, a question mark snarling at opportunity, and feeling that split-second calculus in his head. What does this do to my final chapter? This isn't just about talent. It's about legacy. Bron's here to seal a narrative, not open a gamble. But what if Kuminga is exactly the spark, the volatile fuel the Lakers need to ignite a championship run that acknowledges not just longevity, but evolution? And don't kid yourself, this move doesn't leave Anthony Davis untouched. AD's already danced with demons of injury and late playoff exits. Bringing in a player with Kuminga's raw athleticism could be the jolt. AD needs to accelerate back to his dominant prime, or it could unsettle the fragile chemistry he's fought to forge with every ounce of his beastly talent, every grimace through pain. We've seen what unstable lineups do to star players. They fracture confidence, dilute focus, and blow open locker room tensions like a powder keg under pressure. Now, picture Austin Reeves, our unsung glue guy, a rising heart and soul, watching this trade rumble with its chaotic promise. His role and minutes are at stake. Does Kuminga become a brother-in-arms who elevates their shared hunger, or a disruptive force skimming the edges of identity and culture? We're talking about a pivotal slice of the Lakers' DNA shifting in real time, all while LeBron's clock winds down and AD's championship window narrows sharply. And if you think that's a mountain of pressure, wait until you consider what's lurking upstairs in the front office labyrinth. Jeannie Buss has been the steady hand in turbulent Lakers waters, but the NBA is no stranger to billionaire chess games behind the velvet curtain. What if a new voice, a deep-pocketed outsider, with eyes on the glory, sidles up and shakes the landscape? We've seen franchise takeovers become either salvation or betrayal. Think Jeannie's stewardship after Jerry went silent on the sidelines, or Magic's roller coaster ride between savior and scapegoat. Now put yourself inside that swirling whirlpool of decisions, rumors, and allegiance. Are we looking at Jeannie doubling down on this gamble, or someone else ready to upset the Lakers' apple cart and take us down a path no fan ever wanted to imagine? The past screams at us through these moments. Recall the Showtime era when every pass was poetry and every fast break frenzy burned into our collective soul, or the 2000s when Shaq and Kobe's volatile brilliance pierced the NBA like lightning. Then the melancholy sting post-Kobe, a decade-long wilderness of fractured hopes and frustrating rebuilds, until the triumphant bubble banner in 2020, a testament to resilience and the undying spirit of purple and gold. But what if this Kuminga trade plunges us back into another uncertainty funnel? What if the chemistry cracks wide open, the locker room fracturing once again under the relentless weight of expectation? Now imagine the seismic ripple through the West. The Warriors, quietly bleeding from a reduced role for Kuminga, might suddenly be vulnerable, a dynasty off balance, their foothold weaker, and Denver's Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., or Phoenix's blazing Devin Booker, or the Clippers' relentless drive could pounce on this moment with ravenous intensity. But what if the Lakers stumble, and instead of knocking them off their perches, This trade fuels the Warriors' resolve, makes Kuminga the dark horse they never anticipated, and locks LA in a spiral of what-ifs, missed shots, and conveyor belt. Frustration, the arena lights, the energy in crypto. Imagine fans roaring as the ball swings to Kuminga for a clutch dunk, or collectively groaning at a misplay that symbolizes too much at stake. This is not just basketball. This is a microcosm of hopes, pride, and a franchise's very soul tested under merciless pressure. Every banner hanging in the rafters reflects past agony and greatness, a constant reminder that the Lakers are not just a team. Their legacy lived in heartbreak and glory, and now, with a young player's fate, a future draft pick, and the delicate equilibrium of our stars hanging in the balance, this moment teeters between the thrill of rebirth and the abyss of collapse. As a Laker till the day I die, here's what I see coming. A crossroads where every decision echoes like thunder over the Pacific, where a single misstep could shatter the collective dream, or a leap of faith could catapult us back to the summit, where legends breathe. This isn't the time for half measures or nostalgia-soaked hesitation. This is the crucible where history is written in blood, sweat, and raw, electric passion. Now, I want to hear it from you. Drop your rawest take below. Every true believer in purple and gold, because whichever way this wins, we're all on this razor's edge together, heart pounding, eyes burning, waiting to see if the Lakers rise again or fall into the silence of what could have been.